Alrighty. Hi folks, how you doing? Welcome to Next Up Cycle with your host Paul Francis, and we are here on this Monday night. It's a little after 9 p.m. and hold my hands up. That's down to yours truly as we were having dinner. Oh my goodness. I know. I should have been well on top of it, but Maya didn't finish work till 8 p.m. So there's a bit of a crossover that kind of got out of our out of whack. Anyway, lovely to see you. Thanks very much for being here, and welcome to the second episode of Next Level Psychic, where you get to decide whether the what we show later on is real or whether it's fake. Okay. Keep your emails and messages coming. I'd love to see them. You can message me anytime, even now, because I've got two systems rolling side by side here. If you want to ask any particular questions, it's dead easy to ask them right down in the comments below. Don't forget, it's really important that you like the show. Like the show. I cannot stress that enough. Like the show and share it out. Share it out with your friends, share with your family, and get them to come and be a part of this. Now, I'd like to say hi to Maria. Maria was sitting first tonight. Maria, good evening. Welcome to the show, all the way from California, and Dawn, all the way from Europe, which is about 6 miles from me. Dawn, good to see you, my darling. I hope all is well. Lynn's joined us now as well. Good to see that. I do hope that you guys are sharing the show. Excuse me, I've got a bit of water in my throat. My fault for eating and running and jumping on a show when what I normally do is if I have a meal early in the evening, rest, plenty of water, and then on to the show. Not tonight. Not tonight. I went backwards and did everything wrong. So anyway, your feedback from the very first Next Level Psychic was excellent. Thank you so very much. A bit of a heads up though, just to let you know that this coming Wednesday night, if you are already a member of my Patreon site, then fantastic, you're going to really enjoy Wednesday night. If you're not already a member, you're going to miss out. It's that simple. Because this Wednesday night is an extreme event, show, where I will be taking you to meet your guides and somebody very special. It's going to be an amazing show, amazing event. A lot of people have coming back to me in relation to the, what went wrong. What we don't know, still don't know. But on sort of evaluating what went wrong, it's exactly the same thing that happened with the John Edwards show and myself. It just didn't work, nothing connected. So we don't know what went wrong, and there are apologies on that. So that's why I made an executive decision on the night to go boom straight across to YouTube and just made it public. So this coming Wednesday night will be at the event where you will get to meet your guides. It's going to be a very emotional show this Wednesday, but we will be promoting that all day tomorrow and most of Wednesday as well. If you have not got yourself onto my Patreon site, I'm sorry, but you're going to miss it. Let me just put the Patreon banner at the bottom so you can see it. There you go. And my advice is foster and become a Patreon member now for the equivalent of, we worked it out the other day, the equivalent of literally £1 a week, literally £1. You will be getting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds worth of services. So that makes absolute sense to keep stuff like that. So if you've got any questions, then please feel free. But tonight, of course, we're going to be doing that bit where everybody enjoyed. Everybody seemed to really enjoy the night where I did the photographs, the feedback, and then you tell me whether or not that particular picture photographic evidence, whatever you want to call it, is real or if it's fake. It was great fun. So it says there are 6 of you watching, but there's only a few that are chatting. So come on, guys. Make sure that. Well, you're the only one that said the sound is breaking, Lynn. So nobody else has said that the sound is breaking up. Like I say, thank you so much for the feedback. Feedback was excellent. It made me feel a lot better. And I did come across a few idiots. I will be honest with you. I had a severe Bible basher calling me Satan. Oh, every time I come across these idiots, I actually think about what Derek Akora said to me. I was standing in, no, I wasn't standing, we were sitting in Derek Akora's kitchen. And it was about, oh my gosh, 11:30 at night, something along those lines. And Derek said to me, Paul, you're the fastest growing psychic in the UK. You are zooming up that ladder and you are making massive waves. And I was like, all right. And he said, oh yeah. He said, you are. He said, people are watching for what you do and you'll notice that they start to feel it. I said, well, actually, yes, I had noticed that. He said, as you're rising up that ladder and you're rising really fast, he said, so is the target on your back. And I went, really? And he said, yeah. I said, I've seen what he's gone through on shows and taken serious flack. And he's right. I was actually accosted by a moron. And I told him he was a moron. I'm not like Derek. Derek's very forgiving, and Derek, well, bless his heart, he's rest in peace. He's very forgiving and very easygoing and very genteel. I'm the opposite. I'm Irish. And when I come across frick, the Irish in me comes out, and I have no time for morons. And this one here was telling me that I didn't know my scriptures and I was Satan. Oh my God. So I said to him, all right, first of all, I went the genteel route. Oh, okay, so is Christianity the only religion on the planet that's real then? The only religion that will be allowed into heaven? Didn't answer that. And I said to him, right, okay, tell me this, how many gospels are there? Didn't answer that. And so I was trying to hit him with knowledge that I'm completely aware of. Having an uncle as a bishop kind of helped. And you get these guys who want to hit you over the head with their Bibles, but they don't know what's in it. So I had that to deal with. But hey, what the heck? Hey, Carol, welcome to the show. Good to see you, my darling. Listen, guys, don't forget, like the show. It's really important. Like the show and leave comments at the bottom what you think of the show. But more importantly, share the show. It's really important. We need to get these numbers up there. And if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, boom, get it in there. All right, so Julie Evans is saying the sound is banned. So what I'm going to do is, it could well be because we have music playing in the background. So I'll take that music out. There we are. Maybe that will help. I don't know why it should be bad. The sound was really, really good. The pictures are really, really, really clear. And I can't say anything else what's wrong with it. So anyway, let's move on with this. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. No, so tonight's show is all about really your views on the paranormal, your views on spirit photography, photographs, caught in a moment photographs. But here's the thing. I want to see your pictures, the pictures you guys have taken. I want you to send them to me. You can email them to me at my email, which I'll put along the bottom right now. So you can email them to me on this email. And you just literally attach the JPEG or PNG, whatever. JPEGs are easier and they don't take up as much space. So attach a JPEG, take your pictures. I want to see your pictures and I want to feature your pictures on each show each week. So get yourselves out there and start taking photographs. Some of the photographs are fantastic. Some of them are like, okay. But hey, trying to get in, says Julie Evans. I'm trying to get into where, my darling, because you're in. Let's have a look at what Dawn says. These religious nuts, I'm happy that they have faith, but don't be selling it to me. I don't mind people having a personal point of view. That's not a problem. It's, oh, do you know what? No problems whatsoever. If your religious views give you comfort and stability, and that's, hey, 100% behind you. But you are in no position to judge others. No position whatsoever. Please, Julie and Carol, could you please go over to Paul Francis Medium channel on YouTube? Yeah, go across to YouTube, type in Paul Francis Medium, and follow me on there. The sound will probably improve. We're having, I've actually been blocked on 4 of my own pages by YouTube already. Okay, so that's why I'm pulling away from YouTube. Sorry, retract that. I've been blocked 4 of my own pages on my Facebook, my Facebook account. It's got like 11 pages, and 4 of them, Facebook have blocked me in my own account. Don't care anymore. I don't care. I'm not even going to let it emotionally stimulate me. Couldn't care. So, the sound is better now. Thank you. I don't know why the sound is bad. It's just background music. Julia's in there. Lynn's in there. Good to see. So Carol says, I'm Irish. Well, of course you are. With a name like Fitzgerald. Come on, Carol. So get yourselves out there. Get your cell phone. Get cameras going. Whatever you want to do. And start taking some pictures and send them to me. So right across the bottom there, as you can see, is my email, paul@paulfrancis111.com, and send me your pictures. You can also share them with me on Messenger. However, it tends to be a bit of a flickety flick to get them to come down, etc. Better email them to me. If you want to share footage with me, in other words, video footage that you've taken, you can share them with me on a program called WeTransfer. Okay. It's a free program, and it's a independent program. So it's kind of like a medium. So if you have footage and you won't be able to share it with me on email because the footage would be just too big of a file, you go to WeTransfer, you type in my email, which is going across the bottom of the page as to the destination. You type in your email and it'll say upload the file. So whatever that file is that you want to send me, be it EVP, if you're going to, I'm not going to get technical, EVP, electronic voice phenomena, or MP3s, which is the program, or if you want to send me actual footage that you have filmed yourself, WeTransfer will be able to handle it. It'll send it right across to me. I'll be able to download it, and we can look at it together, and I can actually feature it on the show. So make sure you do that. How cool will that be? Let's have a peek. Carol Fitzgerald. Carol, come out of Facebook, darling, and go across over to YouTube. So go into YouTube. At the top, you'll see the search bar. Just type in the search bar, Paul Francis Medium. You'll be straight back to this show. All right. And it is far more stable than Facebook. And that way, and you're not going to be, every single week without fail, we'll have a moron jump in, and they come in through Facebook. Pamela Bob, Paul, how the heck have you been? Pamela, hello, and welcome to the show. How have I been? Yeah, I have. I've been busy. I have been busy. It's good to see you, Pamela. Thank you for being here tonight, and welcome to Next Level Psychic. If you are a first timer at this particular show, this show is not about me. It's about you. It's about the world that we live in. Week in, week out, month in, month out, year in, year out, we are inundated by paranormal investigators. And great. It's something that I was trying to promote 20 years ago. It's something that Derek promoted through when it was on Most Haunted. And then you got the American versions, different shows called Taps, etc. Were all big shows. Now, whether you liked or loathed any of those particular shows, you have to look at the provenance. Now, the idea of that means it was a good thing in the fact that it made the paranormal a little bit more acceptable to the general public. That's the good thing about it. People became a little bit more aware. And it's like UFOs, for example, or UAPs, as they have to be called now, unidentified flying phenomena. What was the matter with UFOs? Anyway, the reason why there's a lot more footage and pictures being taken is because cameras are far more advanced now. Every single person on the planet has a cell phone, okay, or a mobile phone. Most of the cameras on those cell phones and mobile phones are 100 times better than any cameras that were available in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, even 70s, okay, in relation to pixelation. My camera, for an example, can take pictures of the surface of the moon. It's that powerful. Okay, so we're able to capture much more UFOs or paranormal pictures and footage and so on and so forth. So that's why it's become that much more acceptable in the general public eye, because everybody and their dog is taking pictures. So if you are out there and you are going on a little paranormal investigation of your very own, great, share it with me. Let me see what you capture. Now, when you're watching these shows, a bit like Zach Bagans and some of those particular shows up there are things you need to be aware of. Okay, there's a thing called the setup. Okay. The setup, and I shared this in last week's show. I'll share it with this week's. I'll shut up from next week onwards. But the setup is, we are going to the most iconic, most haunted place in UK. That's called the setup. Now, the setup means they're trying to get you already to think that this place is the most haunted place in the UK. Okay, let me tell you this. If they're going to the most haunted places in the UK and they're going to a graveyard, hate to disappoint you, not the case. Okay, ghosts and spirits don't hang out in graveyards, right? They're not nightclubs for dead people. Okay, that's not what they do. Think about it. As a person yourself, when you go home, when you cross over, are you going to hang around graveyards? No. So investigations were around highly energetic places are far more likely to capture something. Now, I can hear your voice going, well, what does he mean? A fairly highly charged or highly energetically charged place will be something like a hospital, okay? A hospital, especially morgues, maybe somewhere like a psychiatric hospital. That'll be even more so highly charged. Places of that nature. And I'm saying this with my heart, with love in my heart, not with any negatives. But funeral homes are highly charged. Why? Because everybody who goes to a funeral home is usually going to mourn the loss of a loved one. So the energy being brought into the funeral homes is high. Okay, so that's why it is far more charged. Alrighty, battlegrounds, places like that, anything that's had highly emotional charge is somewhere where you'll capture. So let's go away from the ghosty, ghouly spirit side of things and look at other places that are highly charged. Now, Dawn will know what I'm talking about right here, and maybe some of the rest of you, if you have, great. But we have lines running across our planet called ley lines. If you haven't heard of ley lines, just do a Google search later on tonight after the show, and it'll show you ley lines. Okay, what ley lines are? They're lines of energy that run across the globe, and they intersect at different places. Now, where they intersect, the energy is nuts. Okay, nuts. And the likelihood of you catching events is quite high. Okay. For an example, one of the ley line crosses is actually in the southwest of the UK, down in Cornwall, and it's just out there towards the Lizard Peninsula. and it is it is nuts in relation to not only spirit energy and ghostly energy, but UFOs. UFOs are commonly photographed down there. It's why the Southwest was very much focused on in relation to Wiccan and that kind of I don't want to say Wiccan's a religion. It's not really pagan. Wiccan, they're not religions. They're more of ways of life. Okay, way of life that shows so much love. I might add as well. Lots of love, lots of compassion, lots of focus on bringing love to the earth and the trees and the birds and the animals. Whereas witches in the Dark Ages were given more of an evil concept, and that's not really the truth. That's not the truth at all. Let's have a look at what people are having a chat about in the chat room. Love the way that you put that. Really aren't. Says Pamela, thank you very much, Pamela. Every inch of our planet is a graveyard. Yes. You know what? When you think about it, I mean, there's arguments to and arguments from. Every inch, I can't imagine every inch being a graveyard, but I get your point of view. Every inch of dry will have had death around it at some point. I want to go into the historical places with hidden secrets. Yes, Don, and we still got to get our meeting with Amanda and everybody else who wants to be a part of the team. Why is Cornwall, for example, trying to cover or alter, if you will, the ley lines? That is very important. Hey, we're in Cornwall. Cornwall Council, I think, are what's the terminology? Oh yeah, morons. There's the sort of scenario that the mindset down here just doesn't work. For an example, very close friends of mine, beautiful people with amazingly beautiful hearts. They called their shop. They had a beautiful shop, a new age shop, and they called it Fallen Angel. And I said to them, "Don't call it Fallen Angel." And they went, "Well, we're calling it Fallen Angel." I said, "Listen, I know you guys. I know who you are as people. I know who you are, and you're phenomenally hearts of gold. But people will judge the name Fallen Angel." And they did. And unfortunately, the shop fell. All because of a stupid name, Johanna and I were talking about I said to her today about creating a different business concept. And she said, "Oh, well, let's call it this." And I went, No. I said, "You got to de-emotionalize it. You have to take the emotion back because people will judge it on the name alone." And, I said, you literally have to have what it is on the tin these days, or somebody will have something to say about it. There is an immense amount of keyboard warriors out there, and no doubt they'll come across this particular show tonight on YouTube, and then they'll get onto they'll go like that, and out comes their point of view. Will we listen to their point of view? Probably not, but hey. Right, let's have a look. Julia says, "Yes, I have lots of experience around ley lines." Oh, amazing. Mind-blowing, amazing. Dawn says, "I live on the Michael Mary line. They have been disrupting the Michael and Mary line since 2020. That's because they're wrecking everything down here and building and trying to build. And if you remember, Dawn, if we went back 20 years, you could not get permission to build a shed, let alone anything else. And now all of a sudden there's motorways going in, there's estates springing up all over the green belt. I don't like it here anymore. That's what. Carol says, "I seem to work a lot with butterflies." Well, butterflies and dragonflies, they're quite close on the spiritual scale. But butterflies, that's the whole concept of change, isn't it? And change for the better. Dragonflies, of those who have recently passed, a lot of the times they come to say hi the day that they're buried, and Have you had anything like that in your field? Yes, yes. It's just I an amazing. I'm going to look. I don't have the computers that I have. I have big studio computers, but all of my computers, and in fact, what I'm using here is actually my daughter's. But my computers would film all of my events in my studio. That was all of my one-to-ones, etc. And then I made that one-to-one available to the person who had the one-to-one. So, but one evening I was doing a one-to-one, and the person came in, and I remember the so clear. I'm not allowed to normally remember anything in a one-to-one. Normally, what I'm allowed to remember is purely used for teaching. So, anyway, I know my office, I know my studio, I know it inside and out, and I know everything about it. So we were doing a one-to-one, and I remember getting a picture of my mind of a butterfly. And I said to the lady, and it was the lady's mom, I think, that was coming through. And I said to her, hey, she's trying to show me a butterfly. Would you understand this? And just as I said that, so if you imagine there's a wall, like that wall behind me, right? And she was sitting on a couch facing me, and I was sitting in a chair facing her. So to the right hand side of us was a corner, just no windows, nothing, just a corner. And right out in between us, literally out of nothing, literally nothing, flew a butterfly right between us, and it flew over to the door, and it landed on the door, which had loads of windows in it. And I got up to let the butterfly out, and it wouldn't leave. So I said, well, clearly that's a message. And I turned back, and the lady had tears in her eyes. And I went, oh, are you okay? Can I get you something? And she just stood up and she showed me, and she had a butterfly tattooed just on her hip as a memory of her mother. So not only does it signify change, and change in a good way as we progress from this physical being into a beautiful condition. We don't turn into butterflies, don't get me wrong. The butterfly is the messenger and the symbol of change for the better. Okay. So yes, I've encountered that, and dragonflies as well. Where are we? I just want to make sure I don't miss any of your lovely messages here. Okay, they have to monkey all the beautiful energy down here. Well, they're going to wreck the place. They're going to wreck the place. They're destroying Cornwall. Cornwall is going from such a beautiful, tranquil, green, gorgeous oceans place to live and be, to it's gonna turn into one big city, and all of it's going to be compounded with all these pop up wooden cardboard houses, and it's going to be a horrible place to live. And I've had enough. I'm going to move out. So all of it, my family and I. Anyway, doesn't make any odds. I'm not moving away. You'll be able to still be part of my shows. I'll still be a part of your lives. I'll be back and forth into Cornwall periodically. We'll still do shows and events and so on and so forth. So Dawn, we'll have to get ourselves together with you and Amanda and whoever else is going to be part of the new paranormal investigations team. If you live in the Southwest and you want to be a part of that, if you want to be part of Paraghost, then make sure you email me. That's the easiest way. Email me. Email is going right across the bottom of the screen, as you can see. If you aren't already sort of discussing in the chat room tonight, and you're watching the show later, literally the email's going across the bottom, paul@paulfrancis111.com. Send me an email, say, hey, listen, watched your show the other night, really would be interested in becoming a part of the Paraghost Paranormal Investigations team, and off we go from there. Right, Julie Evans says, my dad, as I do, love butterflies. As his ashes were laid, a butterfly pitched on the vicar and didn't leave until my dad's ashes were interred. How beautiful a message. How absolutely amazing a message. Fantastic. Thanks for sharing that, Jules. That's brought a wee flutter to my heart in a nice way. I like that. It reminded me of that lovely reading where that butterfly came out of nowhere. It wasn't there. I would have seen it, if it was on the wall, because they have a tendency to sit on the wall and flap their wings like that. I would have seen it. Julie says, sorry I'm late. Never be sorry, Jules. Never, never, ever come into my show and be sorry. I am so glad that you've taken the time out of your life to be on this show. I really appreciate it. When you are Cornish and have roots that go back generations, it's not so easy just to pack up and move away. Well, I could have said the same thing, my darling Dawn, but I want you to. I'm going to counteract you in a lovely way. I could have said the same thing about Ireland. Ireland. Look at Ireland. Very, very like Cornwall. Very like Wales, Scotland. Beautiful Celtic people, loving really. And I could have, but there was something that was drawing me to Cornwall, and I had to go and do. So I came across and did it. I realized more about taking away lines on a map when I went to America. I went to America, beautiful place to be. I went all the way down to Florida, and I went to the Kennedy Space Museum, this Kennedy Space Center, actually, where I got, me being Irish, chatting away, I actually ended up chatting away to an astronaut, a real life astronaut. And we were talking, and during the conversation, he told me that everybody who was into space, be it, up on the space shuttle, going to the space station, wherever, anybody who goes up into space comes back changed. Okay? They no longer really are governed by lines on a map. They realize that this beautiful sphere of blue and green spinning through the cosmos is the one thing we're on, and we're all on it together. So I realized it's not a line on a map. We're in this beautiful globe. We're in this beautiful sphere, very delicate sphere. And so wherever you are in the sphere, it doesn't really matter, because we're all traveling through the cosmos together. We're all going at the same time in the same place together. So, look at that, John Fuller. Oh, hi from California. What time in that? Yes. Hello, buddy. I was talking about John earlier. In the show. What an amazing guy with such a beautiful heart. John, welcome to the show, buddy. Good to see you. Deborah Bradley, welcome to the show. Love and light to you too. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Now, especially you, John, being in California, all of y'all, this show, Next Level Psychic, it is really about you. It's not about me. This show is not about me, okay? It's about you and your interpretation of normal, paranormal, whatever way you want to put it, and your capture of what you might have caught in the world of paranormal. Okay, so if when you're using your phone, hey John, let's go all Americanism and call them cell phones. If you're using your cell phone and you capture something strange, then let me have it. Send it across to me. Emails going across the bottom of the screen. Let me have a look at it, and I'll feature your pictures and your footage on this show. This is what it's all about. Next Level Psychic. Alrighty, so I can't wait to see all of the stuff that you guys capture. Let me see it. If you've already taken photographs and you've got pictures of orbs or shadows or shapes and so on and so forth, send them to me. I promise you, number one, I won't ridicule you. You can be absolutely sure of that. And I can guarantee you, no one on this show will ridicule you, because I will not allow it. Okay, let's just go for it. So tonight, John, you've come at the right time. I'm just about to show the slides that I've taken tonight. Now, there are 3 slides, okay? And I want you guys to tell me which of these pictures are real and which are fake. Okay, so there's only 3 tonight. So which are real and which are fake. John says, caught something that scared me, but just turned out to be a selfie. Oh, you lunatic. I can do that meditation. Meditation. I don't have to leave my garden to visit the universe. Dawn, I always thought you were away with the fairies. So anyway, in a good way, of course. So I'm going to show you these pictures, right? And I want you guys then to leave your feedback in the comments below. And fake or real, okay? And then I will talk about the reality about about the information that's going along with them. Okay, so get ready. Okay, I'll disappear over to one side as I just have done. I want to take down my Patreon information. Just give me 1 second so I can make sure I got plenty of the screen free. Give me 1 second. I'm getting all super technical here. Welcome to the show. And banners, that's what I'm looking for. I'm clicking the wrong thing. There we go. So I'll take that down. Right. So Next Level Psychic with Paul Francis. Welcome to the show. If you've just joined us, make sure that you hit that like button and make sure you share the show with your friends and family. But overall, far more important, subscribe to the show. Do not miss any more shows. If you haven't already subscribed to my Patreon channel, I'll be putting the address up again. And I'll be doing a very, very special event this coming Wednesday evening. So, slide number 1. There we go. This is called the Fire Girl. Now, if you look, I'll help you because everybody's now looking at this picture going, where? Look at the bottom right-hand corner and you see a guardrail there. And you'll see a girl. The picture is actually called Fire Girl. So you tell me, is that an actual real picture or is that a fake picture? Steve, welcome to the show, buddy. Good to see you. Good to see you. Do you know what? I've been thinking about you ever since we spoke the other day. I am gutted to what they've done to your pub. I literally am. What an amazingly beautiful place for these morons to do that to. I just don't get it. Steve's going real straight off the top. So what's your thoughts? That picture, is that picture real or is that a fake picture? You tell me. Real, says Steve. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Whitburn, an amazing guy. I met Steve many, many years ago. Steve had a beautiful pub in Trisbane. It was called the Cross Keys, if I remember correctly. And I was invited to come along and do a paranormal evening there. And it was one of the most iconic nights that I've ever. It's actually, Steve, it's in my book. It's going in my book, Walking with the Light. Steve and I were at the back of his pub and we were chatting, and I kept getting the clock and key. I kept getting this whole kind of mental picture, and I could see this big man on this big white charger, big horse, but he was being protected with all these other guys. And then my guides were going, "It's the king! It's the king!" And he was hiding out from the Cromwell's Roundheads, or I can't remember the war concept itself, but he hid out in that area. So I said to Steve, this is quite famous. Are you aware? And he was like, no. And so I told him the story, and he looked at me as if to say, all right, Paul, you've completely lost your mind. You're out of your trolley. And he went in and he spoke with a guy, historian of the area, and the historian said, yeah, this is what happened. So that was really, it was an amazing thing. That was, we came across such evidential stuff. We did a thing called a trigger object. Now, upstairs, Steve had a restaurant and had a kitchen attached to the restaurant. And one of Steve's friends who had passed away, who was a chef. And I said, right, he's here, I can tell you. So we got a piece of paper and we got an item that you would find in the kitchen, which, if I remember correctly, was is either a knife or like a lighter. You know, one of them things for lighting the gas? It was something like that. And we drew around it. So, and I said, right, let's lock off this area. Don't let anybody else up here. And I openly said to the chap, I said, look, if you're here, these guys would love to know you're here. Please move the lighter. So downstairs we went, and we were having a great time. And then later on that night, we all went back upstairs again. And not only had the lighter moved, it had moved right off the page. Okay, so it was brilliant. And then we did, if you remember, Steve, we did glass work, what we call glass work, which we get a glass and we put it upside down on wooden tables, and the glass was moving around. Oh, it was such a great place. And then sadly, Steve told me that they've demolished the pub, which, oh my God, and it was hundreds of years old. I don't get it. Cornwall Council have got a lot. Oh. Can't see the rest of the body behind the rails, says Julia. John says, too small for my old eye on my phone. We'll tune into my laptop next time. Right, let's have a look. And funny, the lights in the kitchen flashing brighter. Here we go. The glass did work, didn't it, mate? Yeah. So that's number one. We'll go through them again, like as always. So number two is this one. This is William Mumler. Now, William Mumler, before you all jump in there, was a medium, right? And in this particular picture, he's actually in trance. Okay, he's actually in trance. He was a medium of his time, obviously by looking of his clothing, Victorian time, and he was in trance during this photograph. Okay, so William Mumler was a well-known medium of his time, and he was a trance medium, and they took a picture, but doom, out that came. There's a picture of me, and I must dig it out. So I've got it somewhere. And again, I think it's in my studio computers. And it's at Christmas time, the first Christmas after we lost my mom. My mom passed away. And Christmas time was her time of the year. She adored Christmas. In fact, back when we were kids, all my pals would come and visit our house because my mom's tree was just amazing. Okay. So my mom, they used to call my mom. They used to come in, all right, Mom. And they'd come around just to visit the tree. So the first Christmas after my dear mom passed away, I wanted to make the tree extra special because that was her thing. And there was a couple of pictures taken of me putting baubles onto the tree. And you can clearly see a shape behind me with a pair of arms coming around me. I must dig out that picture. Julia Evans says it looks great. It does. Good picture. And looks like it's real, says Julia. Lynn says real. So that is William Mumler, and he was a trance medium of his time, and this picture was taken of him actually in trance. So there we go. And finally, the last slide on the show tonight, the backseat ghost. Now, I don't know if you guys can see my arrow, but if you look at the driver and look over the driver's shoulder, you'll see what looks like a person behind him on the back seat. The photograph is actually called the backseat ghost. And once again, is that real or is that falsified? Is that an energy behind this particular driver? Or is it a reflection? Or what do you think it is? What do you think that particular picture is? The backseat ghost, tell me what your thoughts are. If you've just come in and you've just joined our show, you are visiting the Next Level Psychic. I am Paul Francis, your host. And this show is all about you. It's not about me. Okay, it's about all the photographs that you guys look at, take, create, and we will bring them onto the show, and we will be able to say together, I think that's fake, or I think that's real, or whatever the case may be. Backseat ghost sure looks real, says Loretta Lewis. Welcome to the show, Loretta. If you aren't already a subscriber to my YouTube channel, get yourselves over there and subscribe. Come on. get across to my YouTube channel, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and hit the little bell icon so you never miss another show. If you're not already a subscriber to my Patreon site, you got to do it because you're going to miss out on some serious stuff starting from this coming Wednesday night. Alrighty. Deborah Bradley says, is that question glasses reflection? Well, you tell me. That's the whole idea. You can see shape of a face, what looks like glasses, collar, and yeah, okay. Steve says this is a matrix picture. Okay, a matrix picture. In other words, your eyes will see what you want to see within the picture. It's called a matrix. Dawn says looks like the guys with sunglasses on the back seat. Right. Is that Sergeant Jingles? Welcome to the show. Please forgive me if I'm mispronouncing your name, but welcome to the show. Good to see you. So, Julie Sharp says, I just see a mist on the back seat. I think, make sure you're looking, Julie, when you're looking at the picture, look at the cabbie driver and look right past his ear in through his side. So look past his ear and you're sort of looking past the cab driver through to the back rather than in the back seat. I can see what you mean, the mist. It looks like a mist in the back window. That makes sense. Sergeant Jingle says, yes, it is. Thank you. Can I ask what you're sergeant of? First and foremost, that'd be really cool. Share it with us. Welcome to the show. And obviously, I would remember that. You've been invited by Maria. Cool. Welcome to the show, Sergeant Jingles. If you've been invited by Maria, you are more than welcome. Please make sure you subscribe to the show. Alrighty. Now, all of you lovely people over there in law enforcement, you guys must encounter some serious stuff in your time. Especially when you've got the body cams. If you're going through your body cams and you come across some stuff, capture it and send it across to me so we can have a look at it together. Julie Sharp says, oh my God, as soon as you said that, an Indian gentleman, as soon as you said that, Paul, as soon as you said that, she sees an Indian gentleman. So, what do you think? Fake or real? Tell me, what do you think? Fake or real? Interesting. I love this. This is so cool. This is such a great idea of mine. I'm hoping I can bring in footage. There's a footage thing, and I'm struggling with it tonight because I had to go through so much. It says bring in a video file. I'm not going to be able to do the footage thing tonight. Deborah Bradley says fake. Great to have you with us, Sergeant Jingles, says Lynn. So I'm going to go through them all again so that nobody misses out. So let me just go right through. So this is slide number 1. Sergeant Jingles, if you've just arrived, this is slide number 1. Okay, this was the first slide that we did tonight. Is this particular, if you look at the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see a young lady standing behind a guardrail. And is that a photograph of a real person there, or is that a made-up picture? Okay. I've seen this before. I think it's an American cab driver, but can't remember. And it's fake. Okay, says Steve. Sergeant Jenkins says, thank you for the warm welcome. You are very welcome, sir. Madam, I'm not sure which. I apologize. I never even thought about asking. Is it sir, Sergeant, or madam? Ma'am, Sergeant Jingles. So there we go. The Fire Girl. Is Fire Girl fake or is Fire Girl real? Okay, we're going to go through them one more time before I give you guys the story and the answers. Number 2, William Mumler. William Mumler was a Victorian psychic medium, and he was well known for being a trance medium. This photograph was taken of William whilst in trance. In trance, okay? So is William Mumler photograph, is that picture real or fake? What do you think? Ah, what do you think? Tell me now. It looks real, like a man with sunglasses is done. Yeah. Deborah Bradley says 1 fake, 2 and 3. I didn't understand, Deborah. So what do you think? Number 1, the fire girl, do you think that's fake? Number 2, William Mumler, do you think it's fake or real, Debs? I'm not sure, because I know it says 1 fake, 2 or 3 F. I don't know what that means. So if you, do you think 2 and 3, do you think they're all fake tonight then? All of them are fake? Or do you think real? William Mumler, Cindy, hi! William Mumler, fake? Yeah, so William Mumler was a trance medium of the Victorian time, and he's actually in trance during this picture while this picture was taken. So Deborah thinks number 1 and number 3 are fake, and number 2 is real. Cindy says, late as usual. Please, you're not late. I really appreciate you being here. I genuinely thank you. Thank you for taking the time out of your life to be on my show. I really appreciate it. I'm not just saying that. I genuinely appreciate it. Now, if you have just come and joined us tonight and you haven't already liked the show, it's really important. Please, 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 please like the show and share the show. Leave your comments below what you think of the show tonight. And also leave your comments below what you'd like to see on the show tonight. Now, one of the things that I also wanted to say was it's paranormal. So it doesn't all have to be ghost. All right? It can be UFO. It can be Bigfoot or creatures of that nature. If you're over here in the UK, it could be the Loch Ness Monster. In fact, the Southwest Cornwall has a seagoing monster of its own, which is similar to the Loch Ness Monster. Okay. So there we go. That's number 2. And the final one, the cabbie, which the picture is actually called the backseat ghost. So if you look at the picture of the cabbie sitting there driving his black cab, and you look straight through to the back of him, there is what looks like a face sitting on the back seat. Do you think that picture is real, or do you think that's a fake? You tell me. I'm going to listen to y'all. All right? So I just want to move that. I'm going to be giving you the information about said photographs momentarily. One more time. What do you think? Real? Fake? Real or fake? Y'all tell me now. I don't know why I've gone into that Southern American accent. I have no idea. My own accent's hard enough to get right. Cindy says 1 is real, 2 and 3 are fake. Right. Cool. So I'll just give you all another minute or 2 before I go on. Before I go anywhere, I'm going to share something with you. This is going to freak you all out. Well, as you guys know, I've been doing this work for a long time. Okay, a long time. 35 plus years working as a medium, and been connected to spirit since I was 5 years old, which would make it when I say connected to spirit when I was 5 years old, 5 years old is the first time that I remember being connected to spirit. So I don't know how long I've been connected to spirit, really. So I've been doing this a long time. So I'm pretty much clued on what to do and how to do it. Last night, and normally I would just enter this stuff off as dreams and what have you. I'm very feet on the ground kind of a guy. Alrighty. However, last night I went to bed at 11 o'clock at night, which normally I like to try and get to bed around 10:30, 11:30 at the latest. So 11 o'clock, went off to bed last night and climbed into bed, had some water, switched on one of my iPads. It's not the iPad, it's the Fire, Amazon Fire thing. And I was watching a movie. And it wasn't anything that's got to do with what I'm sure with, because the movie was a comedy. And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I woke up out of a really disturbing dream of which I was combating a, shall we call, for the sake of trying to explain what it is, a demon. All right. I saw the demon's face. I saw it with its very sinister, kind of like jaggedy smile, dark, dark, dark eyes. And it was letting me know that it was coming after me. And so I immediately went into my psychic and spiritual protection, went through all of the stuff, and to the point where I went into, I've trained myself to do that even when I'm asleep. And so I went and I woke up, boom, like this here, and I sat up in bed and I was thinking, and I was feeling around the room with my energy and looking around with my eyes, and I got up, right, and I put on my blessed holy necklace, which is of Mary, and went through some of the prayers. As I went to do one of the prayers in my head, it kept getting blocked, literally blocked. I couldn't remember. I was thinking, oh my God, how does that go? I actually had to go onto the internet and bring the prayer up so I could remember. It kept getting blocked. A prayer that I've been doing since I was a kid, and I couldn't get past the first line. And so I brought in my guides, I brought in my angels, I brought in my family in spirit, and I brought in the angels of protection, and I literally cleansed the house at what time? 3 minutes past 3 in the morning. 3 minutes past 3, which is commonly known as the witching hour. Okay. And normally, like I said, I would dismiss stuff like that. But Johanna said that the dog has been acting really ridiculous. One of our dogs, Holly, and the two big boys. Now, the big boys sleep in an enclosure downstairs at night because, number one, they enjoy being safe. They feel safe in it. And number two, we know where they are. We've got cameras on them all the time. And so we can see them. And the boys were like looking around and barking, and these things were flashing across the front of the camera. So it was all quite sinister last night. So I have been practicing clearing in the house today. So at 3 a.m. to 3 minutes past 3 a.m., this was all kicking off. Says Cindy, that's spooky. I would have been able to go back. So I went back to sleep right after I did all the prayers, and I could feel the energy change in the house. I mean, properly get really, really light and change. I went out to the balcony. We got a balcony in our bedroom, and I went out and I was looking at the stars, and everything was tickety boo. So I went back to bed, and I went back to sleep not long after that. Debbie says it sounds like a psychic attack. I think so because I actually had to put an idiot right as well. An idiot who called himself a shaman and was scaring the life out of Johanna. So I had to put him correct as well. And then all of a sudden I get this psychic attack thing. So you need to know who you're dealing with. So the house is blessed. It's got angels in every corner of every room. Every room is filled with the white light of love and divine protection. I have my guides protecting me. I have Blackfoot. He's a big Native American guide. His job is just to protect me. I have my mom and dad, my aunts and uncles, my grandparents in spirit. I've called them in to help me as well. But the reason I'm sharing this with you as well is you have this ability too. You can call in those loved ones who've crossed over. They, your mom and dad, they would have secured you here. They would have looked after you here. What makes you think they're not going to do it when they're in spirit? So think about it. Right, let's get back into having a look at what's tonight. They sell dragon's blood in town. It's great stuff for repelling unwanted guests. Yes, Don. I actually, what we need to do is we need to get together soon. Right, so let's go back now, guys, and have a look at what's real, what's unreal. Your opinion is really, really, really important to me. Okay, so the very first one tonight, as you can see, was the ghost girl. Let me just give you the story about the ghost girl. This actually was taken by a firefighter. Yes, a fireman in 1995. Okay. In November of 1995, Wem Town Hall in Shropshire, England, was burnt to the ground. Many spectators gathered around to watch the old building, which was built in 1905, by the way. It was being consumed with flames. Tony O'Reilly, a local news resident, was one of the onlookers and took the photographs and of the spectacle with a 200 millimeter telephoto lens from across the street. One of these photographs shows what looks to be a small, partially transparent girl standing on the doorway. Neither O'Reilly or any of the onlookers or firefighters recalled seeing anybody up there. They checked it over and over and over, and there was nobody there. O'Reilly submitted the photograph to the Association of Scientific Study for Anomalous Phenomena, which in turn presented it for analysis to Dr. Vernon Harrison, a photographic expert and former resident of the Royal Photographic Society. Harrison carefully examined both the print and the original negative and concluded that it was all genuine. This negative is a straightforward piece of black and white work that shows no signs of being tampered with, Mr. Harrison said. The little girl, who is the little girl? In Wem, a quiet market town in northern Shropshire, having been ravaged by a fire in the past of 1677, historical records note the fire destroyed many of the town's timber houses, and a young girl named Jane Churm, Churm, the legend says, accidentally set fire to the thatched roof with a candle, and many believe that her ghost is the ghost that can be seen. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a real capture, a real picture. And the picture was actually verified by a photography specialist. And if I remember correctly, I did a wee bit of research into this particular story, and little footprints were seen the following morning, but nobody could get into the building because the building had been locked off by police and locked off by firefighters. But little footprints were seen up on that walkway. And it's believed to be a young girl who accidentally set fire to the thatched roof and perished in flames way back in 1905. So, 1905. So there you go. That is an actual capture of a spirit. Right. So let's go on to picture number 2. Here we go. And this is, let me just bring up my notes because I sound really on top of it. William Mumler was a well-known psychic in the Victorian times, well known throughout London and the regions of London for being a psychic medium. He was a study for many psychic colleges such as Oxford College of Studies and so on and so forth. And he was well known for being a trance medium. A trance medium is a medium who can open his energy up, and other energies will work through that particular person. And that type of technique is called trance mediumship. This photograph was supposedly taken off William Mumler whilst in a trance state. Those of you who said real, you're wrong. This is a superimposed picture of what is claimed to be Mrs. Mumler, and leaned across this particular slide. So this is actually fake. Now, you'd think, being a trance medium, he wouldn't have allowed that. Okay, so me being me, Paul Francis being Paul Francis, I would have been really skeptical about his honesty from that one forward. I would have been skeptical about his honesty. If he was okay with allowing this, I would have went, right, I'm now going to challenge everything you do, because I know it's not real. There are several spirits there with Mr. Mumler. Well, it's all fake, Pamela. It's all fake. It's overlaying one screen over the other. Rob says, I see 3. You can see 23. It's all fake. It's all fake. There you go. So, slide number 3, picture number 3, the cabbie, or what's referred to as the back seat ghost. Right. Oh my goodness, I've lost the photograph, the information on a particular photograph. Let me just see if I can bring it up on my other computer. Actually, I remember it. I'll remember most of it, so I'm going to do this one here from memory. I had some notes made, but I've lost them. Right, to bring it all to the forefront. First of all, Steve thought it was an American cab. It's not, Steve, because if you look, it's actually a right-hand drive black cab in London. Okay, so it's an actual real photograph, and yes, the energy behind is real. It's another one of those pictures that was presented to photographic specialists, and the photographic specialists pulled it from start to finish, back to front, and it is a real photograph of this particular person. Let me just give me 1 second now as I quickly bring up the information, and I can tell you who it was. Yeah. 1 second. Sorry about this. And I should be able to tell you the information. So I've got that. Got it here now. Give me 1 second as I bring it up. There's the information, and I will share with you exactly who this person is. Maybe it'll tell me who the cabbie was, etc. And then I can share with you. Here we go. Right, Mrs. Mabel Chinnery was visiting the grave of her mother one day in 1959. She had brought along her camera to take photographs of the gravesite. After snapping a few photo shots of her mother's gravestone, she took an impromptu photograph of her husband, who was waiting alone at the car. At least the Chinnery thought he was alone. When the film was developed, there was more than a couple of people that were surprised to see a figure wearing glasses sitting in the back seat of the car. Mrs. Chinnery immediately recognized the image of her mother, the woman whose grave they had visited on the day. A photographic expert who examined the print determined that the image was of a woman, and neither was a reflection nor was it a double exposure. So if you decided that that particular picture was real, well done. Well done. Get in there. So, and would you believe it, just as I quickly researched that information, I found the notes. I'm a moron, I really am. So there we go. Tonight, picture number 1 was real. That was the ghost girl, fire girl. Picture number 2, William, who was said to be the medium, fake. And picture number 3, the backseat ghost, is real. So what I need from you guys is I need some pictures like that from you. If you've got pictures like that of your past, even if there are pictures like, physical pictures, take a picture of that photograph and email them to me. I will put my emails across the bottom here. There we go. And we will feature your pics. And in fact, that's what I'll call it. I will call it your pics. So send your pictures to me at this email address, going across the bottom of the stage, go across the bottom of the screen here, and let's make this happen. I normally have a video set up to go through so we can show you physical photographs of what's happening. Now, last week, if you remember, was video footage that I'd taken from my own offices, where I have a really super sensitive, very intelligent camera, which with its radar, and it captures anything that happens in my particular studio. I'm going to download some more of that and cut it all up so you guys can see more of what that particular camera has been able to capture over the weeks and months ahead. But I really, really, really want to see yours, okay? Steve, if you're still watching and there's any footage captured from our visit to your Cross Keys, then please let us see those. If you've got any photographs of days gone by in that magnificent pub, please do share them with us. Debbie says, I need a laptop. Get a laptop or a tablet. A tablet just as good, not half as expensive. A tablet is just as good. So let's go and have a look at that. We are literally 5 minutes past the shut-off time, but do I care? No, because I started late. I found a couple of photos of us from about 15 years ago at the Godolphin Club in Helston. Oh, yes. When we did that stage demo on behalf of Bobby Moore Foundation, send them over to me, John. Absolutely. Who is that looking through the glass doors behind you? I don't know. I'll look back later. Maybe it's that idiot that decided to pay me a visit last night. In for it tonight, I tell you. Yeah, bigger screen is good. I mean, very often what I'll do is if I'm watching Roger and Faye's show, I'll go into our living room and I can transfer it onto the big screen because, to be honest, when I'm watching Roger and Faye's shows, I've got to watch it on my cell phone. And to be honest with you, it goes onto an 80 plus screen in the living room, and I can see it better because it's 80 plus inch. Always better, much easier to watch. I don't know, Rob, who's watching me from behind. That way, those screens, those doors go out onto a field. No, this was a field. As I say, Cornwall Council's allowing houses to just go up. Oh, let's not go there. I really despise politics. And these so-called politicians who fight for your votes, say they're going to look after Cornwall, they don't. Rob says, I'm a first-time listener from California. Rob, thank you for being here. I genuinely mean it. Thank you from my heart. Please become a regular. Make sure you subscribe to the show and make sure you hit the little bell icon so that you're reminded of any shows that are coming up as well. Because I do what's called pop-up shows. But also, if you're not a member of let me just get this up for you guys so you can see. There, Patreon. If you haven't joined my Patreon site yet, then get yourself across there and join it now, okay, right after the show. I'm doing an event this coming Wednesday night, which is only for Patreon members. So if you've not signed up to my Patreon site, then do it now. Sign up to one of the tiers. The first tier, which is referred to as the bronze tier, is only £1 a week, or the equivalent of $1.15 a week. My gosh, it doesn't even, I wouldn't even cover a cup of coffee. So, and out of that, you're going to get seminars, teaching sessions, one-to-one sessions, group sessions, and loads more. Okay, so get yourself across there. If you want to join the top tier, which is $35 pounds a month or $38 a month, you get 4 private one-to-one sessions included in that, okay, throughout the year. 4. You also get 2 group sessions included in that, where you can bring your family together and I'll do a session for you and your family live. Put it this way, the group family session is worth about £400 just on its own, okay? The 4 one-to-one sessions, which you get included in that, is worth £360. So there's damn near £1,000 just to be in the top tier. Trust me, do not miss out. Get yourself across to my Patreon site and sign up. Sign up for the lowest tier if you want now, and then move yourself up by all means. But for the sake of a price of a cup of coffee a week, you could be on the gold tier and even the platinum tier, and you'll get so much. You'll even those are in the platinum tier and the gold tier. You're going to have copies of my books as well. So get across there and sign up now. As in from next week, not the week we're in, but next week, Reach Across Live will only be on Patreon. Okay, so if you're not a member, you're going to miss out. Please don't be missing out. Get over there. So the reason why I'm moving it across, ladies and gentlemen, is not money grabbing. No, not at all. It is because I have been hacked 5 times now. Johanna showed me this morning. She goes, "Is this you?" And I looked at it, and it was one of my sites. But my name is Paul McGann. My real name is Paul Francis McGann. But I was well known in the music business and in TV and radio for Paul McGann. And then the two kept getting crossed over. So I had to separate them. And my medium and psychic work and my paranormal work is all Paul Francis. And my music work is under Paul McGann. But up came this, my picture, my photograph, and somebody had cloned my site. So it's 5 times already this year that I've been hacked and cloned on Facebook, and that's why I'm leaving it behind. It is no longer safe. And that's why I'm doing all of my shows from next week forward on Patreon and YouTube only. Okay, I'll be marketing and I'll be doing little notes on Facebook and X and Instagram and places like that. But I'll be doing all my, especially Reach Across. If you enjoy Reach Across, get yourself over to Patreon and sign up now, okay? Because it'll only be for the members of Patreon. And you can sign up for the free membership on Patreon and you'll be part of Reach Across Live. But if you want to get all of the other great benefits, such as the seminars, the teaching, the one-to-ones, and all of the great stuff that's going to go with that, then sign up for one of the tiers. Listen, please, especially Sergeant Jingles, get out there and get your friends and family to come and join us, all right? And be a part of this fantastic group of people. The great thing about being here is it's a group of people who are all like-minded, so nobody's here to really downgrade anybody else. And I simply won't allow it anyway. Okay, I don't expect everybody to believe in the paranormal. I don't expect everybody to believe in ghosts and spirits. And me personally, I am very skeptical. I have to see evidence. Yes, even now, I have to see evidence. Okay, so I am normal first before I even enter the realm of paranormal. You got normal, then you have paranormal, which means para meaning beyond normality. Okay, so I always look for the plausible explanation first before I jump into the para side of things. So I eliminate what it might be, and you're left with what it could be, and that way your feet are on the ground. Okay, it is healthy, ladies and gentlemen of the world, to remain skeptical. It is unhealthy to be cynical. Think about it. I'm going to bring the show to an end. We've got literally about 3 minutes left. Jan Macon, hi Jan, come right at the end. Please watch the show from the start again, Jan. You're going to love it. It's great. It's a great show. I have been looking forward to doing this show for such a long time now. I love it. I love this show. This is Next Level Psychic with Paul Francis, your host. And I want to be here doing this for the next months and years ahead. I want you guys to be the stars of this particular show. So take your photographs, take your footage, your EVPs, which stands for Electronic Voice Phenomena, and send them to me in the email going across the bottom of this particular page right now. Get yourself across right after the show to patreon.com/Paul Francis 111 and sign up and don't miss out on the shows and seminars there. It's a great pleasure to be here. It's a great honor to be here, and it's a privilege to be here, and I do not take it lightly. Placing protection around you and yours tonight, bud, and had dealings with these idiots before. John, my brother, thank you. John and I, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, John Fuller, we trained together. We trained together when we were becoming mediums, and we had such a laugh. John and I would just meet up every week, and I went, 2 criers this week. I had 2 criers this week. And he go, I beat you had with 4. And we weren't, and it wasn't in a bad way. When we meant we had 2 criers or 4 criers or 1 crier or no criers or 5 criers, we meant people cried, which meant they broke through that barrier. It's a good thing. We helped them get through that barrier and start down the process of healing. Okay. And it was, he's a great, 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 great gentleman. And I highly recommend him for a reading, ladies and gentlemen, John Fuller. If you're in California now, he's in California. Look him up. Thank you so very much. And it's great to meet all of the lovely new people, Sergeant Jingles and everybody else. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I can't wait till next Monday when I'm back with Next Level Psychic. But this coming Wednesday night, I'm looking forward to doing this seminar. So if you have the opportunity of being here 8 p.m. this coming Wednesday night for Paul Francis and the seminar where I'm going to take you, yes, you, to meet your guides. And I will also take you to meet somebody very, very special. I promise you that it's going to be an emotional event. So when you're coming to the show on Wednesday night, make sure you bring water. Always important, bring water. Be relaxed. Headset's always better, so nobody else is catching your sound, or you're not being sort of somebody messing around, get your attention. So headset, water, relax, chilled out, very, very loose clothing, and a notepad and pen. I always recommend that you have a notepad and pen. So that seminar is this coming Wednesday night, 8 p.m. UK time, where I'll be taking you to meet your guides, and I'll also be taking you to meet somebody very special in your life. Do not miss out. All right. And then, of course, on Thursday night is Reach Across. And Reach Across will be the final Reach Across on this format. So I'll see you all for that. And that is 8 p.m. on Thursday. So full week this week, ladies and gentlemen. This is something I say with all due respect and all due seriousness. Yes, they used to call me a comedian because I believe that all of our friends and family who are in spirit are not sad, so why the hell should we be? But this is something I mean in all due real honesty and seriousness. Communicate, appreciate, and validate everyone in your life. So a medium like myself doesn't have to do it for you. Communicate, talk to them, tell them how much they mean to you and you to them. Appreciate everything you have in your life and everyone you have in your life. Then validate it by making sure they know how much you love them. So when the day comes that we do have to go home, there's no worries. Did I get the chance to say goodbye? Because we knew in advance how much you love us and how much we love you. Happy Memorial Day to everybody in the United States. Happy holidays to everybody. And take care of yourself. Take out at very, very least 15 minutes of every day just for you. Switch off your cell phones, your mobile phones. Switch off the world and take out 15 minutes of every day just for you. Okay, 15 minutes, you deserve it. All right? And until I see you again, I'm going to bid you good night. God bless. Take care of yourselves. Good night.